much light? I think that's better. Looks better. Hat straight, hat straight, hat straight. All right, we're ready to go. We're ready to go. By the way, guys, this is what I broke. Can you see that? Kind of see that? The stub axle on the Maxx. That's what I broke just now. Luckily, I put the heavy-duty actual aluminum axles, steel drive shafts on my new Maxx. The one I was driving was the old Maxx. I put the steel drive shafts on my new Maxx, so I had the brand new ones that I took off of my old Maxx. So I had some extra stub axles. So I was able to get the stub axle off and put it on there. So the Maxx is fixed, but man, that's unfortunate. All right, guys, we're gonna do something a little bit different today. Today we are going to do man, I didn't even do an intro. What is up, guys? My name is Mark Senreal. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the RC vlog. But as I was saying, we're gonna do something different. We're gonna do RC story time. So I've been in the hobby for a long time. I got some crazy stories, and sometimes I just want to share my stories. I tell a lot of people that I meet these stories whenever it comes up, and you guys might find it entertaining. Today, what we're going to talk about is the worst hobby shop experiences I've ever had. There's actually two of them that we're going to talk about today. But before I go on, in the comments below, let me know the stories you want me to tell. Like, what do you want to hear? What story do you want me to hear? I got stories for pretty much everything when it comes to RC. So tell me in the comments what story you want to hear on the next story time. Maybe we'll do it every Friday, since we release a vlog every other Friday, because I alternate days. Every other day I release a vlog. Maybe we'll do it every other Friday. We'll do story time. You guys tell me what you think after we're done. All right. So I am not going to tell you guys what hobby shops these are for obvious reasons. I don't want to just put them out on Front Street like that. But these were a long time ago. I don't even go to these hobby shops anymore. So the very first story I'm going to tell you guys about is whenever I first got into RC. I had my first RC car. It was a Fortec. Yeah, a Nitro Fortec. Probably not the best first RC car, which that can be maybe the next story time. But I brought it into the shop because there was a lot of oil coming from the front. It was coming from the front shocks, right? So I go into my local hobby shop at the time, and I'm going to walk you through the entire thing because there were multiple things wrong with this situation. I walk in, there's a gentleman at the front desk, not doing anything. He's just watching. It's almost like he was watching to make sure I wasn't stealing anything. He didn't greet me, nothing. I'm like walking around, and I'm going to different areas of the hobby shop trying to find what I want. Finally, I give in. I'm like, "Sir, do you know what this is?" And I show my car. It's leaking oil out of the front. He looks at it. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's a Traxxas part. You're gonna need the gaskets and the oil." I said, "Okay, cool." So he walks over the wall. Remember, he didn't greet me. Walks over the wall, grabs the oil. He grabs 30 weight associated oil, which I believe that is actually the stock oil. So that's good. And then he grabs like a gasket, like the shock repair kit. I think that's what it was. He hands it to me. He goes, "This is what you need." And I said, "Okay, so these are the parts that go inside the shock." I said, "Do I have to replace more or just these?" And I started asking him questions like, "What does this one go to? Like, how do I do this?" And no joke, guys, he looks me in the eye and says, "Son, if I told you all that, I would be out of business." And then he points at the wall to show me like a labor cost. I'm like, seriously? So I was like, okay, fair enough. End up buying it, leaving. Obviously, I replaced the shocks, but there's so many things wrong with that. One, he didn't even greet me. Like, come on. Didn't greet me. He didn't ask for if I needed help or anything. He assumed the shock oil, which maybe he was really that good. I think it was associated 30, but he didn't even ask what shock oil I had in. I guess he assumed I had stock shock oil. He also assumed my gaskets were blown. That is not, it's not always the case. A lot of times the shock cap could have just loosened up. You can just tighten it up. But he basically saw an opportunity to sell me these gaskets, sold me the gaskets. But then he wouldn't even help me or show me how to do it, which is mega messed up because you never know. That guy could end up being a 38-year-old psycho that owns like 600 RC cars. Anyways, yeah, that kind of is burnt in my mind because I think back and I'm like, man, luckily I stayed in the hobby, but how many people he treated like that were like, man, this is lame. If this is my local hobby shop, I don't even want to be in this. And that bothers me so bad. And the next one, this is the worst one. I think this is the worst experience I've ever had. And this one is super burnt in my mind. And I'm like, I cannot, like, even till this day, I think about it. I'm like, I cannot believe this dude did this. So at the time, I'd already been through a few cars. I think I probably had like 3 or 4 cars already. I started with, you know, the Nitro 4Tech, then I got a T-Max, I got a Rustler, and then I had a bunch of T-Maxes, because T-Maxes you could get on the used market really cheap. I was buying cars off of Craigslist, but I had to do an engine exchange. And at the time, even now, Traxxas has an engine exchange program where you can turn in your old blown engine, and it can be blown to bits. It can be a million pieces. You turn in your old blown engine, and you can get a brand new one in the box for, I think it was like 120 bucks, maybe 130 bucks for the Traxxas 3.3 engine. So I knew that this was a thing. I knew this was a program. So I take my blown engine. It was like, actually, I think I was doing an upgrade. I was building a Rustler 3.3, which, by the way, is an insane car. Like, the Rustler 2.5 already has plenty of power. You put a 3.3 in it, oof, it is blistering. Anyways, I bring my 2.5 motor in there. I'm like, I would like to exchange this for a 3.3. He grabs a box out of the case, opens the box up, starts taking off the pull start, taking off the little plastic part that goes on top of the head, the scratch guard or whatever, takes off the air filter, and he hands me just the metal motor. And I said, doesn't that come with it? And he goes, do you want it? I said, doesn't it come with it? He goes, do you want it? I was like, well, yeah. He goes, well, yeah, you can have it. And he starts to put it all back on. And I'm like, what was this guy going to do? And it didn't dawn on me what he was doing. Like, I figured, I didn't know at the time. I thought maybe that's the way it was. Maybe you were supposed to take those things off. And he was acting like he was doing me a favor by giving me those pieces. It's supposed to come with all those pieces. The one-way bearing, the pull start, everything. They're supposed to hand you a box, a 3.3 engine, and that be it. And yeah, he tried to take all the pieces off. And I found out later, I went into that shop a few weeks later, and I found out what he was doing is he was repackaging. He was taking off the pull start, the one-way bearing, the air filters, and repackaging it and selling it. My God, like, seriously? Like, that was so messed up. Oh, that bothers the crap out of me. I still can't believe that guy did that. After I found out what he was actually doing, never went back there after that. And it's a shame, because it was a pretty good hobby shop, and it's just that kind of integrity, man, it's messed up. Whew, I'm getting worked up just thinking about that. That bothers the crap out of me. So what was your worst hobby shop experience? For the most part, I haven't had any bad ones. Like, probably within the last 10 years, I haven't had any bad ones. Most everyone is super nice. Now, hobby shops locally, they recognize me through the channel, so they're extra nice. But most hobby shops now understand that it is about customer service. You got to keep the customer happy. But back then, my God, like I said, those things, I thought about that when I was driving the other day. I was like, man, that was jacked up, and I definitely want to share it with you guys. So let me know, guys, what you think about this little series, RC Stories. I got this from another vlogger that I watch. I think it's called VinWiki or Wiki Stories, VinWiki Stories. It's an automotive YouTuber who also does like car stories. I like to listen to them. I thought they were fun, so I thought maybe you guys would too. Well, I hope you liked this video, guys. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell, and you guys will see me next time. Later, guys.